Hello everybody. This video is basically about mainly, well, as usual, my whole undying passion for just anime and pop culture, but this time is only about like my black culture and the anime culture and stuff. And what I would like to point out, since this is like the very last, it seems like this is the very last day for February, which is Black History Month. So I wanted to like make a video based off of my feelings and thoughts about black culture based stuff, especially within anime reasons or pop culture reasons itself. But I don't know, maybe this is part one, this is part two. I don't know. I'm just making this video just for enjoyment and see where this goes. But I would like to go back to like my One Piece topic, talking about just basically the fish people, fishmen and merfolk. My thing about the fishmen and merfolk is the last things I want to talk about with that topic is the iconic, idealistic um, authority figures within like the people or like the country of the fish people and merfolk, which would be Queen Orihime and Fisher Tiger. The only reason why I bring those iconic people up is because one, I seen Orihime as more of an individual who basically was like a female version of Martin Luther King. The only reason why I say that is because she she was very compassionate, sweet, and kind as a queen. And then on top of that, even though despite of the fact of it was past history and racism with the fish people were very critically messed up, just like how us as black people, it was critically messed up back in the day. It's what's the same thing with them. The only difference is just Orihime treated it differently, even in spite of the fact of she being royalty. She still cared about her own people and care about the fact of what's going on and stuff and whatever. The only difference is just she was taking it in a Martin Luther King level because of the fact of she believed in just the fact of, well, there is such a thing as peaceful protest to you trying to make a change by doing it more in a pacifistic way, whether it be you signing petitions and sending it to the corrupted government, to basically doing other, like, what's the word? Like other measures such as those as a pacifist route, so things can, like progress differently in a pacifistic way. Or I would still say, like extremely, she was a Martin Luther King, because let me tell you what happened with her. There was a celestial dragon, aka a Republican, that in the past, his ship got messed up in sea as he was like going down the seafloor to the Fishman Island for some reason, or he got wrecked, one way or the other. Was going to Fishman Island, I don't know, either or. And then it's like when he barely made it to Fishman Island, dude had a gun and was trying to shoot up everybody and stuff, or just shoot up the gun like he crazy and just acting privileged like a Republican, being like, "Yo, help me out, fam, help me out. I am royalty. You do as I say and stuff." And it's like it's sickening. It was sickening to even the merfolk, all merfolk, even the guards of the royal family down there. They were all like sickened by this. But when Orihime saw what was going on, and then saw that the people that were past slaves to this celestial dragon slash Republican, they they were like, "Yo, let's just take this dude out right here now." Because if you think logically about the situation, dude is all the way down the seafloor. Technically, we can make it look like it's an accident, or no one won't know anything happened because it's down here, fam. it's down here. You ain't gonna know nothing unless you ask questions or you investigate something. But Orihime, she like interjected and was like, "Nah, we not going to kill this dude or do something shady to him because by the end of the day, we're no better. And on top of that, our children are around here as well too. What are we supposed to do, killing someone who did wrong to us? And then on top of that, our children are here, our younger generation are here. That's no way to like make our country better or our people better and stuff." And in a way, she was kind of right. She was very much right, but I'll get deeper into that later on in this video. So Celestial Dragon dude, he going to take his gun slash Glock, put it upside Orihime's head, and be like, "Look, I need assistance, or I want assistance now on the double. If you don't, I'm going to kill her right here and now." And her children were emotional about this and was sad. The only way that she lived was because of her like daughter that did something about it. She didn't do anything physical. It's just, well, since this is a historical slash realistic type, you know what? No, screw it. I don't care if this is realistic slash historical. I'm just going to say it. Her daughter has a unique like ability that's overpowered that allows her to control these beasts called the Sea Kings. Sea Kings, long story short, are big monstrous fish in the One Piece world that can mess up an island or mess up big like chunks of different territories, whether it be an island or a big ass ship. Either way. And if I had to make it easier for people to understand, think of the old movie Meg, which is the mega shark. Think of Meg. Yeah, that's what are like these these sea kings are. They're big as hell and monstrous. They're similar as that, maybe even bigger than the Meg. Long story short. So getting deeper into it, that's why I say Orihime is more of a Martin Luther King because she's more of a pacifist. She tries to like resolve things like vocally and also try to resolve things by petitions and whatever and just more professionally when it comes to politics and struggles and whatnot. Now, the individual Fisher Tiger, that's my boy. Fisher Tiger, I would like to say he's a mixture between he's a mixture between Malcolm X and Harriet Tubman. The only reason why I say Malcolm X and Harriet Tubman is because of the fact of well, this is what Tiger did as his own individual when it comes to the fishman race and his struggles. He went up into a messed up governmental facility that that basically had celestial dragons had reign over the place, essentially. And what he did there was he freed all the slaves. He basically freed all the slaves. He not only freed all the fishermen or fish people slave and merfolk, but he also freed all the slaves that had anything to do with the celestial dragons, like just rule and whatever. The only reason why I say that is because there were these three women that were also known in the story, which is Boa Hancock, Murray Gold, and I forgot who their third sister name was, but yeah, he freed all three of them from their slavery along with the rest of the merfolk. And that's what I think Harry Tuckman did along with Malcolm X did. I don't think Malcolm X freed slaves per se, but I would like to say that dude was a aggressive activist. And that's why I like to say what Fisher Tiger was. Fisher Tiger was more of a dude that was aggressive in his own way, in his own rights, and especially in his own personality and soul to just the way he is as a person, but or slash individual. But at the same time, he still like used that aggressiveness more in, I guess, in a positive way because look, not everybody going to like agree with you saying let's do a prison slash slavery breakout because long story short, that's seemed pretty crazy and stuff. But Tiger did it. He did that shit, and he succeeded in what he did when he was doing those deeds. Now I'm trying to remember other individuals I would like to point out when it comes to this. I'm just going to also point this other person out as a positive outlook. It would be Jinbei. Jinbei, I would like to say I would like to say that he's another example of possibly Malcolm X or another. Now I'm gonna sound I'm gonna sound terrible for this, but sounds like he's basically another black individual that was aggressive, and he also made strides to make sure that the merfolk were better off when it comes to their country and just their whole island as well too. And what he did was he did various of things. First, he was a guard when it comes to the royal guard back at his own country slash island. Another thing that he did was that he became one of the seven warlords of the government, so that kind of helped the process of the fish folk, like fishmen or fish folk and the merfolk, become more like intertwined with the government. Like they have a seat in like the government seatings when they have revelry and stuff, which means basically, long story short, revelry is like a time where all the nations or all the islands who do matter in a good way, they come all together to talk about like politics and whatever and stuff. Now, if you get a seat in these type of revelry affairs, that means the government do see you as a full like royal type of figurehead to sit in these meetings, which means you're going to get protection from the government and you're going to get respected from them as well too. That's why Jinbei became one of the seven warlords because he wanted to do that for them. That and when it comes to back history with Jinbei, the government kind of did see him as a strong potential asset to utilize in their ranks only because back in the day when the Sun Pirates were a thing, which was Fisher Tiger's movement, the Sun Pirates themselves, which they were more like activists and people who free who just were about freedom against slavery and stuff and whatever from celestial dragons. Long story short, they're kind of like the underwater sea version of the Black Panthers. Technically, they for they basically were all about freedom and resolution towards freedom and slavery and just prejudice to also just any type of messed up oppression towards anyone. They were all about that because heck, admittedly, even Tiger when he was about to die, Tiger when he had a chance to live, because this was Tiger's backstory. Tiger died because of the fact of he saved a little girl from slavery from celestial dragons in the present with his sun pirates. But then before he died, he had a chance where his crewmates from the sun pirates they say, well, we found some like blood bags from the government or Navy's infirmary room from their ships and stuff. Maybe we can use these to help Tiger because that's the thing. Tiger could have lived if he had a successful blood transfusion. The only reason why he didn't want to do it is because now this is why I point out Tiger is kind of like a Malcolm X. In a sense, Tiger didn't want it because he how should I say this? He said, and he admittedly says this, that he kind of had like some type of saltiness and just reluctancy towards towards humans themselves. He had a reluctancy towards human nature. Now, that's my thing about Tiger, why I like and respect him. Is even though he has a reluctancy towards humans or people who done him wrong and his people wrong, he still freed and did people right, whether human or not human. He did people right. Whoever was under the oppression of the Celestial Dragons, which are the Republican in the One Piece world, he did them right and freed them, and he fought for basically their rights. Even going even a little bit further, whoever was around him for a pretty good minute around his crew, he branded them or tatted them with the Sun Pirates emblem or symbol on their body. Who had the slavery symbol on their body, because that's the thing about the Sun Pirates, and that's what the grim realization of the Sun Pirates, um, what's the word? Actuality is the fact of, just like back in slavery, most slave masters having like brands or whatever and branded their slaves. The Sun Pirates did the similar thing. The only difference is it's just they only did that so they can help their cause logically more, because think about it. Per se, a government official saw one of their slaves and they saw like their brand mark on that said slave. No matter how old they are or how young they are, they'll still going to apprehend them and capture them to go back into their slave trade or slave auctions and stuff and do what they were supposed to do or have executed one way or the other. Tiger, he branded them with the Sun Pirates symbol only because they wanted them free 100% and wanted them to live. Whether they joined his crew, or whether they lived their own lives like that one little girl that he saved, her name was Koala, which was a human girl. He wanted people free and did people right. And that's why how should I say this? I give him respect. Now back to also Jinbei, though. Jinbei was some warlords, and another thing that he did as an individual, Jinbei also did this as an activist. He also did this other act of becoming a strong Yonko subordinate. Now, why is that prominently important? Is because one, he was a warlord at first, and then Big Mom. He went on Big Mom's side to get her protection, so she can put her Jolly Roger on the Fishman Island and then say that this is her territory. So on paper or on like how should I say, or entitlement, Big Mom, that's Big Mom territory. You do not mess with that place or whatever. Think about it like, how should I say this? You can't go to the government, or you can't go to like officials, governmental officials, or do anything professionally right for protection. You might need to go to a loan shark or a bunch of gangsters to help you get your protection. That's what Jinbei was doing at that time as well too, before or after like the government basically saw them as same level as other country as same level as royal countries. The only reason why he did that was because of the fact of, well, there's a difference. Government officials can give you some type of protection, but at the same time, they're not perfect all the time. And then even aside from that, Yonko or Pirate Emperor like protection is just double the protection on any type of territory. And on top of that, let's be real, in the One Piece world, you see a Yonko's flag or Jolly Roger, depending on who the Yonko is, or just any Yonko, don't even care about what the situation is. You're going to get screwed over if you mess around with their Jolly Roger or their territory itself. I mean, I give you a good example. When Big Mom's like Jolly Roger got challenged by Luffy, she got pissed off and then she was like, well, come see me in the new world then. I will wreck you right here and now. And basically when that happened, in a sense, Luffy was picking a fight with a gang leader of a boss, which was Big Mom. And ooh, when that arc hit, shit hit the fan. That's all I gotta say. If I had to say anybody else when it comes to fish people, whether negative or positive, when it comes to like the whole movement, it would probably be Arlong and Horty. The only reason why I would say those two, and I would easily lump those two together, is because both of them, I would like to say maybe they have pride for their country and their race. The only thing is just they had too much pride and they were corrupted individuals. One dude off of social media tried to argue with me saying that Arlong was some Malcolm X of the fish people. I said, no, you're wrong. The only reason why I said you're wrong is because Arlong, he may have had the tendencies of Malcolm X. He may have been aggressive, but he wasn't per se doing it for his people. Now, the only reason why I strongly say he wasn't doing it for his people is because, and even I heard like other people from social media, like YouTubers, have talked about Arlon in his past, especially with him and Nami's relationship before Nami became a full Straw Hat. His whole big plan was he wanted to go to an island somewhere in like the the South or East Blue, somewhere that's in the sticks and not that strong territory, and then he'll just easily come up in there and take over and just basically invade the whole place and be like, well, this is our territory. And if you want to have residence in this territory, you're going to pay me like a whole lot of money just for protection or just for you to stay on this island altogether. And that's my thing. Arlong Arlong was no better than a corrupted, messed up like pirate emperor in a sense. The only difference is between a pirate emperor and how to say it, a pirate emperor and just somebody that's doing something right or whatever. Here are the differences. In the world of One Piece, there are a lot of gray areas with this. Because here's a good example of a good pirate emperor. Whitebeard was a good pirate emperor because he had protection over Fishman Island before Big Mom. And Pops, aka Whitebeard, he was a good man. He was a respectable good man. He may have been a pirate emperor, but he was respectable. He did not like pillage nor do other stuff or whatever. I think the only way how he would pillage and plunder is if the individual did something wrong to his crew or to his name, like directly, that or it's also another way where it's like if you're messing around his territory, then Pops have no choice but to either send out somebody 50-50 or he'll come down personally and wreck you right there and then. That's what Pops was. Jinbei actually, as an example, as a good example, he actually did like respect Pops more. And in a sense, he was kind of more of like a shadowy figure type of subordinate with Pops. The only reason why I said it is because Ace, which is another individual from One Piece, he fought against. He would try to find the old man and was trying to fight him, but even before he did that, Jinbei like objected and was like, "No, I'm not gonna let you fight the old man 1v1, and you let you have your own way with him and stuff. He's too old, and on top of that, he's doing other things. Fight me before you fight him." And it was a 2 week thing. But yeah, that's a good Yonko. A bad Yonko would be Big Mom. No reason why I said Big Mom is a bad Yonko is because even though Totland on paper, Totland represents like basically an accepting country where they accept all races with no prejudice or anything and stuff. They may do some shady stereotypes, or there may be some messed up shade there when it comes to certain like races here and there, or a little rate like about like 5 or 10 racism, not like extreme racism where it's get out of hand, but just racism where it's like they rely on stereotypes or they talking shit about the person's like appearances and stuff and how they are. That's what I mean. That's what Big Mom territory is. It's like even though people can coexist there peacefully for the most part, there's still some shade where it's like people might talk trash towards each other here and there sometimes and whatever. That's what Big Mom territory is. But aside from that, Big Mom's no saint. There are other territories where it's like whoever is under her protection or name, if they don't come up with like sweets or foods that she wants from their islands or or money, then she's just gonna come down and pillage or just basically burn down their whole place. Even even her subordinates would be open to do that. All they need is just an order for Big Mom saying, "Do you want us to burn down this place or this island?" And then it's just going to be a buster call, burned down to the ground right there and then. Pops, he wasn't like that. But yeah, Arlong, that's how I see Arlong. Arlong was just a common, messed up, corrupted pirate that just was fueled by rage, hatred, and rage and hatred from like racism and etc. from his past as a fisherman. But he just didn't use that aggressiveness like more productively in a sense. He used it more as a tyrannical rule or as a corrupted individual. Same thing with Horty. Horty did the same exact thing. The only difference is I think Horty was 20 times worse because Horty admitted that in his chapter when he was starting out stuff back at Fishman Island, when the royal, like, how to say, his children was asking him, "Why are you doing this? Did someone did you wrong? Did a human did you wrong?" And then Horty says, "Nothing. No one did nothing wrong to me and stuff. I'm just doing it because I'm doing it in hatred and whatever." And that's why I say Horty is 20 times worse than Arlong. But they still in the same lumped group because of the fact of they try to use their like visible assets as pirates in their own rights to try and take over like land or yeah, lands or territories their own way and just be corrupted with their power and stuff and just flatten whoever is against their what's the word their ideals and whatever, and it's just fucked up. It's real messed up. But yeah, that'll conclude my whole video about like the Fishman race and this the iconic people who were in the Fishman race, whether it be positive or negative. Please leave a like or please subscribe if you want to subscribe. Sorry if this video was too long. Thank you. Bye.